this video may be helpful to you if you're a parent with a young child and you have these kind of results and you're looking for answers, then maybe you should watch this, because I'm going to give you a couple pointers here. Welcome back. So I got an email from a parent, and this is just going to be a rant. This is not an official video of how-to or improvement or anything. So if you're coming here looking for some kind of instructive quality, you might as well just click away, because this is entirely going to be a rant. Parent, this mom sends me an email. I'm gonna see if I can put this on the screen here, saying, signing up for a program and hope that my 3-year-old daughter will benefit from this. And she includes 2 ophthalmologist diagnoses, which are interesting, up on the screen for you. The interesting part is the first one says right eye -2 diopter and left eye -0.75 diopters of myopia in a 3-year-old, which is pretty hard to diagnose in the first place, but okay. Now here comes the weird part. 4 diopters and 3 diopters respectively of astigmatism correction, which is weird, but let's look at the full scope of these diagnoses. Then there's a second one, a month later. Second opinion, right eye -1 diopter. A month ago, right eye was -2 diopters. So keep in mind, double, right? -2 diopter versus -1 diopter. And then left eye, instead of -0.75, now we got plus half a diopter. And earlier when I read this email, I was genuinely kind of upset. I posted a little thing in our Facebook group that largely reflected my opinion on that, because keep in mind, as we discuss these things sort of abstractly, in reality, this is a mother, right, with a 3-year-old child. And I actually have a 3-year-old child, so I can strongly sympathize with this and her confusion. And now, if you're gonna unpack this a little bit, the left eye, one guy says -0.75 diopters, and I lied. This video may be helpful to you if you're a parent with a young child and you have these kind of results and you're looking for answers, then maybe you should watch this, because I'm going to give you a couple pointers here. Now, first of all, important to know, I don't see this as a medical condition. Definitely go to the ophthalmologist with your kids, get them checked out, make sure that there aren't any issues. I'm not one of those people who believes in home remedying everything. This is just about myopia, and in this case about not myopia. Left eye, -0.75 diopters. The general rule, as far as I'm concerned, is anything around 1 diopter, 1.25 even or less, isn't necessarily myopia, isn't necessarily something you need correction for. In a lot of cases, it's sitting in a dark room, it's anxiety, it's looking at a poorly lit chart, it's dialing up diopters past the point you need them. I would print out an eye chart. Genuinely, I would print out an eye chart. I would hang it up at home in an environment like this that's just like naturally, oh, look at that, reasonably well lit, natural ambient lighting, where the child has time. 3-year-old's too small to read letters. There are eye charts that have little animals on them. It's pretty hard, actually. With a 3-year-old, you're still in a range where it's not so easy to diagnose. But in a case like this, 1.25, 0.75 diopters, -0.75 diopters definitely isn't myopia, especially considering most testing environments. That's kind of extreme. And genuinely, I mean, maybe I'm a little bit, I would say it's mostly just selling glasses or just diagnosing for the sake of diagnosing. But the main interesting part is it goes from -0.75 diopters. The next guy looks at the same eye, right, and finds plus 0.5 diopters. Now, if you're generally familiar with the topic overall, plus half diopter means hyperopic. And if you look at the range of -0.75 to plus half a diopter, it means a completely normally functioning eye. And if you look at the range of diagnoses here, that should be, to you, if you're getting 2 opinions, and you should always get a second opinion on anything before you interfere with the body's normal functioning, is the range of a naturally working eye. Slightly hyperopic is actually what you want. That's an ideal scenario. Half a diopter, again, means nothing. I mean, that's well within the range of error. And from that -0.75 to plus half a diopter means the child's eye is perfectly fine. Unless you listen to this idiot and you get actual correction for your children, which that's when I get angry, but I'm going to try to be calm. The second part here is the -2 diopter on the right eye, and the next guy only finds -1 diopter. If you get this kind of range of variance, you don't need to have a statistics degree to look at this and go, that's too much of variance for me to take either one of those results seriously. And again, you have a 3-year-old child, not that easy to figure out what the child can see best in the first place. Testing conditions that are not ideal. I bet it's artificially lit. I bet it's not a perfect eye chart. I bet the child is anxious. You put all those things together, you get this huge range between 1 diopter and 2 diopter. That's a huge range of variance. What I would say is when you're looking at -1 diopter is there is no myopia. They're just in a 3-year-old, come on. Take them outside mode, don't let them play on iPads, don't let them play on phone screens, avoid all that stuff. Normal, natural child environment, the child's fine. The bigger issue is the astigmatism. 4 diopters of astigmatism. What you can do is you can go to if your eyes are fine, right? Like let's assume you don't have myopia as a parent. It's getting dark in here. Is it getting dark in here? Is it getting dark in here? Sorry, the lighting is not ideal because this is just, anyway. 4 diopters. Go to a convenience store and find yourself some 4 diopter plus 4 diopter reading glasses if you have normal vision. Put those on and then marvel at not being able to see anything. Now, a 4 diopter astigmatism correction is similar to you having normal eyes putting on plus 4 diopters. I mean, you can't see anything. The only difference between spherical and astigmatism correction is the astigmatism correction is directional. So the 4 diopter applies only to part of the whole spectrum of where you're looking at. 4 diopters of astigmatism is extreme. This child could not see anything properly without glasses. Couldn't recognize her mother or would be running into things because it would just have these multiple images that are not fusing together. The next guy finds astigmatism too, so maybe there's some, but again, in a 3-year-old, how do you diagnose that without having an actual test that looks at the corneal surface of the eye? But 2 diopters and 4 diopters, that's a massive difference. That's so much of a difference, like again, like if you have any background in statistics, you'll go, I have to throw away all this data. This data is useless. If you take these 2 ophthalmologist results, all of them, and you look at both of them, the results are no better than random, right? Like, and that's why I said get multiple opinions. So if you're looking at these 2 opinions, you're basically back to the drawing board because none of this means anything. And people in the comments are going to yell at me for messing with the camera. Don't care. The point of this is get multiple opinions, and if the opinions diverge to such a degree that they both become meaningless, you have to start over from scratch. And in a case like this, when you're only dealing with myopia and astigmatism, it's real easy. It's real easy just to, can your child see normally? You know, like, can it recognize shapes at a distance? Can it recognize your face from across the room? Your child does not have 4 diopters of astigmatism if it can recognize your face from across the room. Case closed, no question about it. The problem becomes, and none of this would be a big deal, the problem becomes is if somebody actually puts these glasses on a 3-year-old child, the eyesight is screwed. You put 4 diopters of astigmatism correction and a minus and a plus lens on a child, it'll be a mess forever. Because a 3-year-old, the visual cortex and their eye itself is very actively looking to adapt to an environment. It's not like an adult's eye, which will still change, but not nearly as rapidly as a child's eye. So you will completely screw a child's eye up by putting those glasses on a child. And I don't understand how this even happens. I do not understand how, as of this video, that's 2018, how ophthalmologists, and not even just dime store optometrists, the ophthalmologists can't come up with better diagnosis. And if you're wondering why, I mean, first of all, I would say a 3-year-old child, if you diagnose a 3-year-old child with minus 0.75 diopters and want to give him glasses, you're an idiot. I mean, and and I have some audiences, optometrists and ophthalmologists, and some of you guys are amazing, no question. But if you want to put minus 0.75 diopters on a 3-year-old child, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm saying this with emphasis because I have a 3-year-old child, and I would be severely upset if somebody said, "Oh, the child is myopic, it must have these not even 1 diopter glasses." Because that minus 0.75, which is nothing, will turn into myopia because now you change the natural focal plane. Now the child's visual cortex goes, oh, my focal plane is off by 0.75 diopters. It will elongate the eye, and now the child will really have myopia. And now if you go back to that same idiot ophthalmologist the next year, it'll be minus 1.25. It'll go up half diopter to 0.75 diopters a year in a child if you put minus lenses on them that the child doesn't need. If it's a developmental issue, if developmental issues happen, then go to a behavioral optometrist, right? Like go to somebody who specializes in this. And if there's a behavioral related issue, like if there's something physically not right about the eyes, sure, by all means. But in this case, minus 0.75 spherical diopters on a 3-year-old child should be criminal. It makes absolutely no sense, and it should never be done. This rant could go on for 3 hours, so I'm going to stop here. The point is, if you're a parent, please share this kind of stuff with other parents. If there's a medical issue, I have no opinions. If it's just myopia that's not really myopia, then don't put glasses on your little kids. Don't, because from there it becomes real myopia and then you have a real issue. That's it. This is the end of this video, yeah? If you enjoyed this amazing production quality and rant, try to be composed about these things, give the video a thumbs up. Remember, be careful about your children's eyes. Don't let them play with iPads. Don't let them play with smartphones. Put them outside. Let them play in natural environments. Let the eyes develop naturally. And subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next one.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow.